Hi, everyone. This is Hilary of Hilary's Mindful Living. And today I want to talk to you about the power of now, being in the present moment. The present moment is where all the goodness lies. It's the only place that peace can lie. When you are thinking about the future, which is really what most people are doing, like for example, I'm recording this video, but there's a piece of me that could be thinking, what should I make for dinner tonight? Did I get the meat out of the freezer? That kind of thing. That takes me out of my present moment. I'm thinking about the future. It's a silly thing, like who cares what I'm making for dinner? But the point is that most of the time, we're not in the present moment. Most of the time, while we're doing something, we're actually thinking about something else, something that's going to happen later, something we're worried about, all the things in the future. That's where you feel anxious and create anxiety when you're worried about what's going to happen later. Likewise, when you're trying to focus on the present moment, but you start thinking about maybe a conversation you had with your friend when you were taking a walk, and maybe you don't like what you said and you feel like you shouldn't have said it, and you start thinking about that, and the mind starts going on that, well, that creates ill feelings that can lead to depression. So, past is sort of the negative side of past can be depression, and the negative side of future is anxiety. So that means that all that's left is standing in this present now moment because that's where peace lies. So the point of this video is to train and to teach us to learn how to calm that monkey mind, stay away from future, stay away from past, and kind of stay in this present moment. Like, for instance, with everything that's going on around the world, a lot of us are concerned, obviously, about the war between the Ukraine and Russia. And, maybe that's on your mind a lot. Maybe while you're going about your day, you're thinking so much about that. Nothing wrong with that. And definitely, I send prayers every day to the people of Ukraine. But I do that when I'm in my now moment, after I've meditated and I do some prayer, but then I try and let it go. I don't try and keep it again and again and again in the forefront of my mind because I'm just trying to pay attention to what is going on in front of me right now. So how do we do this? How do we pull our mind back to the present moment when we're busy worrying about something or having regrets about something else? How do you pull that mind back? Well, of course, meditation is always great, but sometimes we're not in a place or a space where we can meditate. So I have a quickie breathing tool that I use with all of my private clients. And I call it the 5 for 5 for 5, which means I breathe in for a count of 5, then I hold my breath for a count of 5, and then I exhale for a count of 5. And guess how many times I do this? 5 times. So this helps bring that mind back into the present. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and maybe you will follow along. Okay, so I close my eyes and I breathe in for a count of 5, and I expand my chest. And then I hold that breath for a count of 5. And then I exhale for a count of 5. Now, that's it. See if you're willing to do this with me right now. And let's do it 5 times, okay? So get a comfortable seat, uncross anything that's crossed, and close your eyes, and I'll cue us. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. 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 Final one. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. Now, let's keep our eyes closed and just sit in this quiet, in this space that you've created in your mind for a moment. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I hope you tried this. I know for me, I feel 1,000 times calmer than when I started videotaping this. So every time that you feel like you're being pushed into the future or thinking about the past and you've lost your way in this present moment, take a break and do the 5 for 5 for 5 breathing. You immediately get calm when you do this exercise. It works every time. You kind of have to do it 5 different times. And I also wanted to say, make sure your out breath is the same as your in breath. Because a lot of people, when they breathe, they'll take a nice deep breath in. And when they exhale, they'll be like, no. For it to really work, everything has to be the same. So you're breathing in. And then when you're exhaling, you're with your mouth open as if you're fogging up a mirror. Let me know in the comments if this works for you, because I think this is one of the most powerful exercises that I do. Another thing that you need to work on if you want to try and stay in the present moment is your sleep. How you sleep. Sleeping is hard, especially when we're older. It's a little more difficult to settle down and to calm. For me, what I do is I'll do that breathing exercise, several rounds of it. Actually, oftentimes I'll do that until I fall asleep. What this does, breathing in general, it calms the monkey mind, and you really can't think when you're working that exercise. You're really just focused on the breath. And when you focus on the breath, you can't be thinking about worrying thoughts or depressing thoughts or anything like that. So if you get good sleep, it'll be easier to stay in the present. And I am going to do a video on sleep and how to have good sleep. Another thing to notice is if you ever want to know how to stay in the present moment, watch a child or watch an animal. I mean, a dog or a cat kind of animal, an animal that, maybe lives in your home, because they're always in the present now moment. Now, I've told this story again before, but I feel like it's worth repeating. When I had my first child, and I want to say she was about 2 years old, and every week my father would take her for daycare while I was working, and he would do wonderful things with her, wonderful adventures with her. He would take her everywhere and show her trains and all kinds of things. And then when she would come home to me, he would call me later and he'd be like, what did Jade say about the train that we saw? And what did Jade say about this? And what did she do? And how did she act about our day? And the reality was, She was over it. She had a great time in that moment. She was completely present. But now she was at home with me and she was coloring or she was, playing with her toys and she wasn't focused on that. And if I asked her questions, which I did often, you know, did you have a really fun time with Gramps? What did you do? She would answer the question briefly, but go back to the present. It's really beautiful to watch. And dogs are the same way, and cats as well, they are very focused in the now moment. So if you've lost your way and you don't have a pet and you don't have a kid, then go outside and just observe them because they are always present and they really are a good reminder for us on how to be present. Another way to be present is go out in nature. You can just sit somewhere, and if you have access to any pretty stream, or sit somewhere where you can watch the trees blow, just by doing that you're becoming present. You're literally, it's like a meditation of watching nature. Another thing to be mindful about is how present are you when you eat. When you eat, do you eat and do work? Do you eat and watch TV? Do you eat and are you scrolling on your social media? The idea is to simply eat. And if you just ate and you focused on just what you were doing at that moment, number one, you would eat less because you'd be satiated, because you wouldn't be it wouldn't be like background, while you're doing something else. Number two, you would taste the goodness of your food more. So, I ask you right now, if you could, to pause the video and go find something that you can eat while you watch this video. For me, I'm getting an apple. You could do a cookie, you could do a grape, anything that is just one thing where you can, I really want you to taste your food. So I will wait here while you go find your food. Okay, well, hopefully you paused your video so you could go find your food. In the meantime, if you don't have any food, I'm going to take a bite of this apple. And as I take a bite of this apple, I'm going to close my eyes. And if you have food in your hand, I ask you to do the same thing. I just want you to close your eyes and taste the bite of what you're eating. Okay, it's going to be a boring video, but stay with me. Okay, that was just the most delicious bite of my apple that I've ever had because I was completely present. And I am the first one to admit I am not completely present much of the time when I eat. I'm often doing other things or thinking other things or watching other things. But this is a reminder to me too. When I ate this bite, I tasted every taste that there was in this apple. It was sweet, it was a bit sour, it was moist, it was crunchy. I could smell it. It was sturdy. It was just beautiful. That's where we got to get back to. Like the old days before they had TV, before they had all these things to busy this mind, and instead they just ate their food. Monks will eat their food in silence just so they can connect to the food. So, I guess, the question to ask yourself with being in the present moment is, as you're going about your day, and maybe it's busy and crazy, you say to yourself, where am I in this moment? And if your answer is very convoluted, you're not in the present moment. So, and it's very normal, and most people aren't in the present moment. So then return to your breath. Sit down, get quiet, just 5 cycles of that breathing exercises that I showed you, and you'll get back to where you want to be. I hope this video helped. I am a life coach and I am also a spiritual teacher. And if you look in the comments below, you can see all the things that I do. I have a book, I have groups, I have private sessions. Please subscribe to my channel as I'm doing free teachings every week. And please share or like, and please comment. Thanks so much.